On November 4, 2025, New York City made history. The city awoke to a sense of anticipation, as millions of New Yorkers headed to the polls, their hopes and anxieties reflected in the crisp autumn air. Zohran Mamdani, a 34-year-old Democratic socialist, became the city's first Muslim mayor, and its youngest in over a century. His campaign energized a new generation of voters, drawing support from communities that had long felt ignored by City Hall. His narrow victory signaled a city ready for change, even as it remained deeply divided. The results revealed both excitement and uncertainty, with some celebrating and others bracing for what might come next. Mamdani's story, living in a one-bedroom apartment with his wife, resonated with everyday New Yorkers struggling with high costs. He understood firsthand the pressures of rising rents, stagnant wages, and the daily grind of city life. His campaign focused on issues that matter: housing, healthcare, and especially the soaring price of food. He promised to fight for affordable homes, better access to medical care, and relief from the skyrocketing cost of living that had pushed so many to the brink. For many, his win felt like a personal victory, a sign that City Hall might finally listen to ordinary people. In neighborhoods across the city, hope flickered that real change was possible, and that their voices would finally be heard. But not everyone celebrated. Business leaders and political opponents viewed his bold ideas with apprehension. They worried about the impact on the city's economy and whether his promises could truly be delivered. The city's complex tapestry of interests set the stage for a fundamental debate about its future. From Wall Street to working-class neighborhoods, every corner of New York was drawn into the conversation about what kind of city it should become. Would New York embrace a new vision, or cling to the old ways? The question echoed in living rooms, subway cars, and city parks, as New Yorkers weighed the risks and rewards of change. This wasn't just a change in leadership, it was the start of a new chapter for the city that never sleeps. The world was watching, eager to see if New York could once again reinvent itself and lead the way forward. At the heart of Mayor Mamdani's vision is a radical idea: city-run grocery stores, a concept that challenges the way New Yorkers think about food access and affordability. He plans to open 5 of these stores, one in each borough, creating a public option for affordable, healthy food that's accessible to everyone, regardless of income or neighborhood. By avoiding high commercial rents and certain taxes, these city-run stores could offer prices that are significantly lower than those at private supermarkets, making fresh produce and staples more affordable for working families. Mamdani hopes this competition will pressure other grocery stores to lower their prices too, creating a ripple effect that benefits all New Yorkers, not just those who shop at the city-run stores. The plan specifically targets food deserts, neighborhoods where fresh, affordable food is hard to find, and where residents often rely on expensive corner stores or travel long distances for groceries. For families forced to choose between paying rent and buying groceries, Mamdani's proposal could be life-changing, easing the burden of tough financial decisions and helping them put nutritious meals on the table. Mamdani frames the initiative as a moral issue. He believes that in a city of immense wealth and opportunity, no one should ever have to go hungry or worry about feeding their children. He argues that when the market fails to provide for basic needs, it's the government's responsibility to step in and ensure everyone has access to essentials like food. Critics call the plan bold, even risky, while supporters say it's long overdue, a necessary step to address inequality and food insecurity in New York. The city-run grocery stores are more than just a new way to shop. They're a declaration that in Mamdani's New York, no one gets left behind, and everyone deserves a fair shot at a healthy life. The stakes couldn't be higher, as the city decides whether to embrace a bold new vision for food justice and community well-being. For many New Yorkers, a city-run grocery isn't just policy, it's survival. In a city where the cost of living seems to climb higher every year, the simple act of buying groceries can feel like a daily battle. The stakes are especially high for those living paycheck to paycheck, who must constantly make tough choices about what they can afford to put on the table. Imagine a single mother in the Bronx, traveling miles for affordable produce. She wakes up early, juggles work and childcare, and still has to spend hours on public transit just to find prices she can manage. For her, and thousands like her, the city's grocery landscape is a daily obstacle course. A local, low-cost store would change her life. It would mean fresher food, less time commuting, and more money left over for rent, bills, and her child's needs. It's not just about convenience, it's about dignity and opportunity. The city's relentless cost of living has left working families behind, with wages lagging far behind prices. Every month, more families are forced to stretch their budgets thinner, sacrificing nutrition for affordability. Every trip to the supermarket is a reminder of how hard it is to get by. Shoppers compare prices, count every dollar, and sometimes leave essentials behind because they simply can't afford them. Mamdani's plan offers hope, a tangible solution to daily struggles. It's a proposal that promises to put healthy food within reach and to ease the constant anxiety that comes with food insecurity. Food security is at the heart of the issue. Everyone deserves reliable access to healthy food. When families can count on affordable groceries, they can focus on building better lives, not just getting by. Hunger affects everything: school, work, health, and dignity. Children struggle to learn on empty stomachs, and workers can't perform their best when they're worried about their next meal. By tackling this head-on, Mamdani taps into a deep well of public frustration. People are tired of feeling ignored, of watching their neighborhoods change while their needs go unmet. Support for his plan is about more than groceries. It's about fairness. It's about the belief that everyone, regardless of income or zip code, deserves a fair shot at a decent life. Many feel the system favors the wealthy, while their neighborhoods lose supermarkets and gain luxury towers. The gap between rich and poor grows wider, and longtime residents feel pushed out by forces beyond their control. Mamdani's proposal is seen as a step toward rebalancing the scales. It's a chance to show that government can listen, respond, and act in the interests of ordinary people. It's a sign that government might finally use its power to help ordinary people. For many, this is the kind of bold action they've been waiting for, something that could set a new standard for what's possible in New York. For supporters, it's a vision of a city that takes care of its own. It's about building a future where no one is left behind, and where community needs come before corporate profits. For critics, it's a risky experiment, but for many New Yorkers, the risk of doing nothing feels even greater. On the other side stands John Catsimatidis, a billionaire, immigrant, and owner of Groceries and D'Agostino's supermarkets. His story is classic New York, from humble beginnings to business titan. Catsimatidis believes in the power of private enterprise and the free market. He argues that competition, not government, drives innovation and creates jobs. For him, the government's role is to foster a stable environment for business, not compete with it. He's seen how taxes and regulations can stifle growth. To Catsimatidis, Mamdani's plan is a threat, not a solution. He fears government overreach. If the city runs grocery stores, what's next? For Catsimatidis, this isn't just about groceries. It's about defending the American economic system. The battle lines are drawn. Catsimatidis' response to Mamdani's plan was swift and blunt. He sees city-run stores as unfair competition. Public stores can undercut prices by avoiding rent and taxes. He warns this could drive private supermarkets, especially small ones, out of business, costing jobs and livelihoods. His frustration runs deep. "I don't care about grocery stores," he famously quipped, highlighting his anger at what he sees as naive policy. But his concerns go beyond groceries. He fears a hostile climate for business in New York. He warns that higher taxes and regulations will drive away investment and wealthy residents. For Catsimatidis and his allies, Mamdani's agenda threatens the city's economic engine. The grocery plan is just the beginning, a symbol of a broader shift they fear will undermine New York's prosperity. The stakes for them are existential. The grocery store debate is really about New York's future. Catsimatidis and his supporters see signs of decline, rising costs, higher taxes, and a focus on social programs over basic services. They worry about public safety, fearing that progressive reforms could bring back the bad old days of high crime. For them, a safe, orderly city is the foundation of prosperity. They argue that higher taxes will drive out businesses and residents, shrinking the tax base and threatening essential services. On the other side, Mamdani's supporters believe bold change is needed to address inequality. The grocery plan has become a symbol of this divide: public investment versus private enterprise. The city stands at a tipping point with two competing visions for how to thrive. The choice New York makes will echo for years. The world is watching. Beyond economics, Mamdani's approach to criminal justice is sparking fierce debate. He supports shifting some police funding to social services, like mental health teams and violence prevention. Supporters see this as modern, humane, and focused on root causes. Critics, including Catsimatidis, fear it will weaken public safety and bring back higher crime. Memories of New York's more dangerous past fuel their anxiety. The mayor's power to appoint judges adds to the stakes. Critics worry about a judiciary that's soft on crime. This debate mirrors national arguments over reform, accountability, and safety. One side sees the system as broken and discriminatory, the other sees it as the last line of defense. The new mayor's choices will shape the city's safety and character for years. Both sides are watching closely. The stakes are nothing less than the city's sense of security. New York faces two starkly different futures. Mamdani's vision: a city where government ensures food, housing, and health care for all, challenging private monopolies and prioritizing working families. His supporters see this as justice and compassion, a city that dares to care. They're ready to try new ideas, believing the old system has failed too many. Catsimatidis' vision: a city built on free enterprise, low taxes, and minimal regulation. He believes prosperity comes from competition and risk-taking, not government intervention. His supporters fear that Mamdani's policies will drive away the wealth and talent that make New York thrive. These visions are fundamentally at odds. The struggle over the city's direction is just beginning. The outcome will define New York for a generation. November 8, 2025. New York stands at a crossroads. This isn't just a political fight. It's a battle for the city's soul. Mamdani's path is bold social experimentation, prioritizing equity, community, and public welfare. Catsimatidis' path is the proven logic of the marketplace: competition, ambition, and individual responsibility. Both paths offer promise and peril. The question: what kind of city do New Yorkers want? One that dares to dream of a new social contract, or one that sticks to the economic principles that built its wealth? The clash between Mamdani and Catsimatidis has made the stakes clear. The world is watching to see which path New York will choose. The future of the city that never sleeps hangs in the balance.